Early life and birth. Pope Francis, born Jorge Mario Bergoglio, entered the world on December 17, 1936, in Buenos Aires, Argentina. He was the eldest of 5 children born to Italian immigrants: Mario José Bergoglio, a railway worker, and Regina Maria Sivori, a homemaker. His family valued hard work, strong Catholic faith, and a humble lifestyle, values that would shape Jorge's worldview profoundly. From an early age, he demonstrated intelligence, compassion, and a growing spirituality. Bergoglio attended a technical secondary school and graduated as a chemical technician. However, at the age of 21, he felt a deeper calling and decided to pursue the priesthood, entering the Society of Jesus, Jesuits, in 1958. During his early years, he suffered a life-threatening illness that resulted in the removal of part of his right lung, an event that influenced his humble view of human frailty and suffering. Religious formation and Jesuit life. After entering the Jesuit novitiate, Bergoglio completed his studies in the humanities in Santiago, Chile. He returned to Argentina to earn a degree in philosophy from Colegio Máximo de San José in San Miguel. Between 1964 and 1965, he taught literature and psychology at Immaculate Conception College in Santa Fe, and then at Colegio del Salvador in Buenos Aires. His Jesuit formation emphasized discipline, simplicity, and deep social engagement. After his theological studies, Bergoglio was ordained a Catholic priest on December 13, 1969, by Archbishop Ramon José Castellano. He completed his final stage of Jesuit training, known as tertianship, in Alcalá de Henares, Spain, and professed his final vows in 1973. Shortly thereafter, he was appointed provincial superior of the Jesuits in Argentina, a position he held from 1973 to 1979. His leadership during Argentina's Dirty War, a period of civil unrest and human rights abuses, was later scrutinized, but he was largely recognized for his efforts to protect vulnerable people. Rise through the church hierarchy. After serving in leadership positions within the Jesuits, Bergoglio transitioned into broader church roles. In 1992, Pope John Paul II appointed him Auxiliary Bishop of Buenos Aires. He was consecrated as bishop on June 27th of that year. In 1997, he became Coadjutor Archbishop of Buenos Aires, and when Cardinal Antonio Quaracino died in 1998, Bergoglio automatically succeeded him. As Archbishop of Buenos Aires, Bergoglio became known for his humility, rejecting the opulent bishop's palace in favor of a simple apartment. He cooked his own meals and traveled by public transportation. He was particularly dedicated to the poor, advocating for the marginalized and frequently visiting slums and hospitals. His reputation for pastoral care, simplicity, and dedication to social justice attracted attention internationally. In 2001, Pope John Paul II elevated him to the College of Cardinals, granting him greater visibility within the Vatican and the global church. During the papal conclave of 2005 following John Paul II's death, Bergoglio was reportedly a strong contender. However, Cardinal Joseph Ratzinger was elected and became Pope Benedict XVI. Nevertheless, Bergoglio's quiet strength continued to grow. Election as Pope on February 11, 2013, Pope Benedict XVI stunned the world by announcing his resignation, citing advanced age and declining strength. A conclave was convened in March 2013 to elect his successor. During the conclave, Jorge Mario Bergoglio emerged as a unifying figure amid various factions within the College of Cardinals. On March 13, 2013, he was elected pope on the fifth ballot and chose the papal name Francis, honoring Saint Francis of Assisi, symbolizing a commitment to humility, peace, and care for the poor. He was the first Jesuit pope, the first pope from the Southern Hemisphere, and the first non-European pope in more than 1,200 years. When he appeared on the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica, he greeted the world with a simple, Buonasera, good evening, and bowed his head to receive the prayers of the people before giving his own blessing. Core teachings, mercy and compassion. One of Pope Francis' central themes is mercy. From his first year as Pope, he emphasized that God's mercy is limitless, and the Church must embody that mercy in all its teachings and actions. He called for a year of mercy from December 8, 2015 to November 20, 2016, encouraging acts of forgiveness, charity, and reconciliation. He famously said, "The name of God is mercy," making it clear that judgment should never outweigh compassion. Social justice. Francis's focus on social justice is another pillar of his papacy. He consistently advocates for the rights of the poor, the homeless, and refugees. He criticizes an economy of exclusion and has challenged global economic systems that prioritize profits over people. His encyclical Evangelii Gaudium, 2013, calls for a church that is poor and for the poor, urging the faithful to reject consumerism and indifference. Care for the environment. One of his most groundbreaking contributions is the 2015 encyclical Laudato Si, Praise Be to You, focusing on the environment. In it, Francis speaks passionately about the urgent need to combat climate change, protect biodiversity, and ensure the sustainable use of Earth's resources. He frames environmentalism not merely as a scientific issue, but as a moral and spiritual imperative, especially as environmental destruction disproportionately affects the poor. Inclusivity. Francis consistently calls for a church that welcomes all, including those who have felt alienated, such as divorced and remarried Catholics, LGBTQ plus individuals, and non-believers. He famously said, "If someone is gay and seeks the Lord and has goodwill, who am I to judge?" He emphasizes dialogue over condemnation, aiming to create a church that serves as a field hospital after battle, treating wounds rather than judging sinners. Peace and diplomacy. Francis has played an active role in promoting peace globally. He facilitated the historic thaw in relations between the United States and Cuba in 2014, brokered dialogues between rival political factions, and continually calls for an end to war and violence, especially in places like Syria, Ukraine, and Africa. His approach to diplomacy is rooted in prayer, patience, and persistent engagement. Major services and contributions, synods, and church reforms. Francis has convened several synods, including those on the family, youth, and the Amazon. These gatherings aim to address contemporary challenges facing Catholics and the broader world. He initiated reforms in the Vatican bureaucracy, the Curia, emphasizing transparency, accountability, and service. He reorganized financial institutions within the Vatican to curb corruption and improve stewardship of church assets. outreach to the marginalized, Francis constantly reminds the church to go to the peripheries, to serve those at society's margins. He has washed the feet of prisoners, refugees, and people with disabilities during Holy Week rituals, reflecting Jesus' example. In Rome, he established showers, barber services, and medical clinics for the homeless near the Vatican, sending a powerful message of dignity and care. Global travel and evangelization. Despite age and health challenges, Pope Francis has undertaken extensive travel, visiting countries across Asia, Africa, Europe, and the Americas. His trips often highlight solidarity with suffering communities, such as refugees, indigenous peoples, and victims of violence. He made historic visits to places like Myanmar, Iraq, and the Central African Republic, promoting interfaith dialogue and peace. Stance during COVID-19. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Pope Francis emerged as a global spiritual leader offering hope. His solitary Urbi et Orbi blessing in an empty, rain-soaked St. Peter's Square in March 2020 became a defining image of solidarity and prayer during global lockdowns. He called for universal vaccine access, prioritizing the poor and vulnerable. Final years and legacy. In his later years, Pope Francis faced significant health issues, including problems with his knee, hip, and colon. Nevertheless, he continued to lead with energy and compassion. In 2025, he made his final public appearance on Easter Sunday, blessing the world one last time before passing away peacefully on April 21st, 2025. Pope Francis leaves behind a profound legacy, a church more focused on mercy, environmental stewardship, social justice, and dialogue. He transformed the papacy from a distant monarchy into a visible, humble service to humanity. His impact is likely to be felt for generations, inspiring millions to live with greater compassion, simplicity, and love for the least of these.